Drew Spence, Ivana leading out their respective sides, and that's what they're playing for, the Cup of Nations. It's been set up like a World Cup group stage, and some really tough battles ahead for these two nations. Ivana will play a key role in the back line for Spain. And let's now pause for the pre-match formalities, beginning with the acknowledgement of country.
To begin today's match, Football Australia would like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land that we are gathered on today, the Darkinjung people. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend a warm welcome to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people with us today.
We now invite everyone who is able to be upstanding for the national anthem of Spain.
We now ask those who are able to remain standing for the national anthem of Jamaica.
So Jamaica and Spain to get us underway very, very soon in the 2023 Cup of Nations. The world number 7, the Spanish, looking to continue this strong run of form. 6 matches unbeaten since that defeat in the Euro quarterfinals to England in extra time. And they had some big wins at the back end of last year, including a win over the US. But just 3 players remain as part of this squad from the one that lost to England last year in the Euros. Teresa, Esther and Marta Cardona, the 3 that survive. Jorge Vilda also gives a debut today to Paula Tomas, and they are captained by Ivana Andres. For Jamaica, coach Lorne Donaldson also gives a debut to Victoria Williams, who was an England youth international before making the switch to Jamaica. She hasn't played much for her WSL side Brighton lately. Looking forward to getting some match minutes today, alongside ex-England international Drew Spence, who set up Jamaica's only goal against Australia at the 2019 World Cup, and she will captain this side. And this Jamaican side comes in off the back of a couple of friendlies in November last year. They beat Paraguay 1-0 and also had a 2-1 defeat to the South American nation off the back of a couple of losses to Korea Republic in friendlies. So Korea ranked 15th in the world, so you'd probably say 1-0, 2-0 defeats. Not too bad for the world number 44, but the Paraguay loss, that will sting. Paraguay ranked 50th in the world, Sarah Walsh. So Jamaica have a real step up to make up against the world number 7 today.
Yeah, they do, and I think over the past 6 months, looking at their matches, they've really just struggled to create consistency on the pitch. I think it's due to the fact that they've had a lot of changeover in their squad, and there's some new faces here today, but they've really been testing things over the past 6 months. So you can imagine, being the first match of 2023 and the lead into the Women's World Cup, they're going to start to build some continuity between their squad and start to move away from rotating players from different positions.
Jorge Vilda, the Spanish coach, currently a controversial figure in world football, of course, with the 15 players sitting out in protest against the national team environment. He says the situation is a worldwide embarrassment and that he would accept the 15 protesting players back into the team if they accept their mistake and ask for forgiveness. Lorne Donaldson, he took over in June last year before the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers and led Jamaica to back-to-back World Cup finals. He's a Jamaican international who was part of the coaching staff at the last FIFA Women's World Cup. Lara Lee, the referee, the Australian, in charge of this one. And so history is made in Gosford. Jamaica playing Spain for the first time in football history across the men's and women's game, as we kick off the 2023 Cup of Nations. And our first look, Walshy, at these two sides and how they're going to set up ahead of this week-long tournament.
Yeah, it's no surprise. You can see Jamaica sitting in a little bit deep. And I think they're just going to look to absorb the pressure. I think one thing particularly in women's football, and I guess you could say for men's as well, but you're not going to have much of the ball when you're playing Spain. And although they've had so much change within the squad, 15 players is such a big number to rotate out of your squad, and they've been able to maintain the way in which they play, the style of football. They had 60% possession in their last game against Argentina. And I think we're going to see something similar today.
Well, had the highest average possession across the Euros, as I mentioned before, going out in the quarterfinals. And that's what Lorne Donaldson, the Jamaican coach, said coming into this one. He expected Spain to have a lot of possession and them to use their athleticism and their speed to try and challenge on the break. And you sense that's their best opportunity today, especially with the quality of passing range of someone like Drew Spence sitting in there in midfield. She can play a pass. And looking to set up Kayla McKenna and Shayna Matthews up ahead of her. Ivana asking a little bit here of Shay. Too much for the right fullback. Plays a football at Atletico Madrid. 18 appearances, 16 starts for her, so a regular at right fullback for the Spanish Giants. Early opportunity almost presented there for Denisha Blackwood. And now Teresa. Good in from Primus, and Shea Garcia is going to have to do some chasing. Oroth. And now Garcia showing her speed. And eventually challenged by Blackwood. And earns the throw for her side.
There's the opportunity there for Spain. Blackwood always likes to play very high line. She gets back here, but leaving a big hole for Shea. It's going to be a really great matchup today.
Well, Blackwood, such an experienced international for Jamaica. And here is our first look at McKenna. They scored 10 goals in 16 for Rangers in Scotland, and there is Blackwood's first attempted cross, not her best effort. And I was going to say about Denisha Blackwood, no stranger to yellow cards, 9 across her international career, so you could understand that. Little bit of hip and shoulder on Shea Garcia.
Well, I think the challenge for Jamaica today will really, playing without that focal point of Khadijah Shaw. Not only is she quick, she gets in behind. She's one of the best finishers in the world. She allows their team to really stretch the defence. And you just see they don't have that in Matthews or McKenna today. They're going to sit deep. They're going to try play their way through Spain.
Oroth finds Teresa. And now Shea looking for the run there of Esther. Such a prolific goal scorer in the Liga F this season in Spain, but also for the national team. Right at the point for the Spanish side today. Just ran into a little bit of trouble, did Paula Thomas on international debut today. The Levante left back came up through the youth ranks at her current club and now a regular in that side. 16 appearances so far in the season. Spain win the free kick for a little bit of extra contact on Oroth. And this is a side that is built on the back of Liga F in Spain. Oroth, one of those in the heart of midfield from Real Madrid. But you look across the whole side, the only player that doesn't ply their trade in Spain while she is Hermoso, the legend who is playing with Pachuca in Mexico.
Yeah, she's earned the right to leave the country, right? She's she's one of their best strikers. I feel old enough to say I may have played against her, but yeah, look, they've got so much depth, and I think there's a real benefit in having your players playing in the one country, and obviously the amount of investment that these European clubs are starting to put into their clubs, not just the clubs, but also UEFA, are really leading the way in terms of the confederation. So you're starting to see the fruits of that, and it started, as we talked about, through the junior national teams and World Cups. But they'll be very much looking today to obviously get a result, but start to build towards July this year. Some would say they've got an easy group. I don't think Japan's very easy. They're up against Costa Rica, Zambia and Japan.
Well, they had a really tough test against Japan in November, 1-0 win. Redondo's goal, the difference, that was it. A really tight one at home. And Spencer finds safety in the sideline. But the big hole you sense in this Spain side is the Barcelona players. 6 of those 15 protesting play for Barcelona. Only 2 current Barca players in this squad, and they are dominating Liga F. They've conceded 4 goals in 19 matches, and they've won 19 from 19. There's Gonzalez, Esther, finding Shea. There's Cardona and uses her. And Cardona looking for that pass to the striker Esther. Just overhit, but they're just working into their afternoon, the Spanish side.
It's here on the replay. Beautiful little ball in, running out of space. I just love to play in these tight little areas. Cardona's been busy already on the right-hand side here.
Cardona made the big move in the off-season from Real to Atleti, playing as a winger and also a striker. 4 goals for her so far this season. That's a neat ball from Spence. And again, Spain able just to snuff out any kind of danger. There's an issue here. A boot is on the ground. It's from the goalkeeper. I'm not quite sure how that came off, because from memory she didn't get a touch there. Is there a ghost or something? Did you spot anything, Walshy?
I didn't see anything, but they've got the ball back here. It really is a deep, middle block here for Jamaica, isn't it? Clearly looking to just absorb this pressure, not use too much energy. You can see that. I think one of the challenges for Jamaica is particularly one of my favourite players for Spain is Oroth, number 8. She just seems to find this gap between the midfield and the defence very easily. She's here looking for the ball now, but more often than not, you'll see her float around, and I imagine Spence will be looking and watching that today.
Some space ahead here for Spain. And Teresa finding Shea. Oroth dropping it back for the run there of Cardona. Just on that occasion, couldn't get it under her control. And you mentioned Oroth. She starts pretty regularly for the Spanish national side, but hasn't quite got that opportunity for Real Madrid at club level, and you can see why. She's a classy player.
She's just building nicely, and I think the more game time she gets with the national team, you can see there it's probably not great defending from Williams and Alison Swaby. They really need to be tighter. She can't be left with that amount of space on the edge of the box, but I think one of the best parts of her game is her vision and awareness. Just her ability to find space and time. She really slows down play when she has it at her feet.
Mendes asking a bit of her captain. Also the captain of Real Madrid, Ivana. Shea. A lot of the promising raids coming down this right edge for Spain. Cardona with the cross. And the ball adjudged to have crossed the byline, so it will just be a goal kick.
There's a lot of rotation here. Cardona, you really think they've been able to build up play nicely. It's just that final execution. Really great play from switching left to right. Ateni has been quiet on the left, as you said, but there's always great rotation between the midfield and the strikers.
Spencer happy to leave the goal kick for Williams. And that's that strength you can see this Jamaican side possesses. Bumping off the Spanish, and now Wiltshire. And the pass misguided towards Blackwood. Happy though with the thought, just not the execution. That is a decent ball for Atenia, but just slightly overhit. Not a bad option. There was a little bit of space, and she's very, very quick. The left winger. Another quality player in this side.
We talked about Spain's World Cup group, Jamaica, France, Brazil, and waiting on the playoffs in Auckland this week. You'd think that they'd be thinking about Spain today, and with France in mind, there's a lot of differences, and particularly in the way they possess football, but European nations like to be compact, they're disciplined in defence, hard to break down.
Well, here is Atenia breaking through, has Esther on the inside. The flag has come up for offside eventually. But that is the kind of danger that Atenia del Castillo possesses, and Jamaica are going to play on quickly here. Maybe try and catch Spain napping. Given away, another opportunity potentially here for Esther, but the flag comes up again, just straying offside.
You can see here Chantel Swaby gets caught out. That first opportunity for Spain. They're just a little bit flat-footed, this back four.
They just keep giving up possession, don't they, Jamaica? And you cannot do that against a side so good with the ball. Thornotha, we've seen her do that before in the Champions League. She scored an absolute bomb for Real Madrid, and she was trying her luck in the Cup of Nations.
Yeah, they're playing risky football. Jamaica, no pressure on the ball here. As you said, Thornotha, she's in fine form. They get enough power on that one. Quite like the idea, though.
And actually back from the international wilderness is Claudia Thornotha. Made her national team debut in 2016, then no appearances until April last year. So a 6-year gap without matches. Cardona finds Shea. To beat the brick wall in the form of Primus. Now a strike from Esther, which never looked likely. But they are having more shots on goal now, Spain. They are keen to open the scoring in the Cup of Nations. Good take as well from Rebecca Spencer. Playing her 10th international, the Jamaican goalkeeper who plays out of Tottenham, but not as many matches as she would have liked in the WSL, just the 6 so far. As Jamaica look to break quickly. Spain snuffing out the danger via Mendez.
Something has shifted in the first 15 minutes. Spain is starting to press higher up the park now. I mean, that really does leave you open at the back, and it's almost like the game that Jamaica are playing. That passage of play. They want to play out from the back. It's what I love about Jamaica. They back themselves every single time. They got out there and, you know, someone like a Khadijah Shaw on the end of that, they could have put that forward, but Spain are definitely looking to push and push higher up the park now.
Really looking to squeeze Jamaica. You could just see if there's a mistake, if there's a mistimed pass or run, there's an opportunity for Jamaica to break quickly, but the lack of Bunny Shaw is quite evident. Cardona, Teresa. Now Paula Tomas. Atenia returns it to Paula Tomas, and she's delivering a dangerous ball. Esther got up and looked to get a touch, but also came off a Jamaican defender. And that means we're going to the corner.
It was a good ball in here from Atenia. I think it was Atenia, but nice and whipped into the box.
Was it touched by a defender while she... Oh, I think Spain may have got one there. I thought Esther got the last touch, but I'll take that one. And I'll take a throw here.
They are playing risky football. It's just been too many times with Thomas and Atenia. That ball in was actually from Thomas. Just no pressure on the ball. Got to get players to the ball.
Ivana. And Tomas. Atenia. Really getting into the game now, Atenia del Castillo, but giving away the pass as she looked for Esther. Teresa and Tomas. So the opportunities like this will arise for Jamaica if they're good enough. And that is a very errant pass from Blackwood, asking way too much of Spencer. And it's another corner on the way for Spain.
Team actually looks a little bit flat out there. I know it's a hot day. It's a long travel time also to Australia. Very minimal time to have training prior to the match. A very tight window.
Well, they only flew in yesterday morning, so it is tough. Good corner. Williams away. Opportunity to curl it towards the top corner. Just pushed wide by Oroth. from Thornotha.
Well, again, too much time and space here for Thornotha. Nice little pass, but the follow-up here, Esther really keeping the play alive. They love to play around these tight little spaces. And there's that shot there from Thornotha. Follow-up play here from Oreth. Always in the right place, right time, following up. Jamaica have got to be better there. Was coming for Spain.
So the Spanish fans pretty happy here at the Central Coast at Industry Group Stadium. And it was certainly on the way after the pressure that Spain were putting Jamaica under. And now the question is, how do Jamaica respond from that setback? Because you sense Spain are going to try and keep the pedal to the metal and keep driving home this advantage.
It's a big job, particularly with the style of play of Spain. And they've left a lot of players on the bench, Jamaica. You suspect that they want to keep their best players, some of their best players, someone like Havana Salon. You've got Satara Murray on the bench.
Well, problems again, turned over. And Esther Gonzalez was away again. If the pass found her from Cardona, but it was well cut out by Swaby. And the pass in the end, an aimless one, turned back over to the Spanish. Shea. Cardona. Teresa, you can see Esther just trying to poke her nose right to the edge of that back line for Jamaica. Well, came up through the ranks, did Oroth at Osasuna, and then when the team was disbanded, made the move to Athletic Bilbao before now arriving at Real Madrid. Half off the bench, half starting so far this season. 8 starts for her. Also grabbed a couple of goals. And that one today, her second international goal after scoring against Argentina in the 7-0 thumping last year. Can they just get their feet on the ball here, Jamaica?
Well, it's a matter of keeping it, right? They're getting the ball and then giving away in really bad areas. And getting lucky there.
It was good strength there from McKenna, but as you said, they're just losing possession too often.
And you're not really seeing the front line supporting. There's a lack of urgency, particularly from Wiltshire and Matthews, who haven't had a lot of ball to come deep and look for it, provide an option.
And Shayna Matthews hasn't had a lot of game time. Gave birth to a third son last year. Came back for the camp against Paraguay. Did play there, but we'll be looking for a side this season to play with before the FIFA Women's World Cup. Primus. And now Swaby. That's Chantel at right back, the younger sister of Allison at centre back on the right side of defence. Mendes. Under pressure by McKenna and allows an opportunity for them to spring forward. Can Jamaica make the most of this opportunity for Matthews? And she goes to ground looking for the whistle. Wasn't getting it there, Shayna Matthews.
That's one of those moments. Spain pushing too many numbers forward, not having the cover. Matthews not having the support. And that is the difference for this team without Khadijah Shaw. It's exactly where she likes to pick it up.
Atenia, look at the numbers again, flooding forward. Tomas, she wants a debut international goal. Maybe an assist will go nicely as well. She's flung down in the box. Lara Lee says no penalty. A few Spanish players were asking the question. They may yet get a goal here through Esther. Blocked by Williams on the first time and the second. And Jamaica earning the free kick. It was Teresa that came off worse for wear on that occasion, as we saw Esther having shot after shot.
Well, they're having a lot of joy down that left-hand side here. This is Teresa. Elbow here from Blackwood. I'm going to shy away from a challenge. You do wonder, though, as this game starts to open up, discipline here from Spain starting to wane. And actually just favour Jamaica.
Spain asking the question for a handball, but nothing doing. Jorge Vilda, he must be happy with how things are tracking at the moment. 6-match unbeaten run since the Euros. Could head towards 7 before that clash with Australia on the weekend. Really billed as the heavyweight contest in this 2023 Cup of Nations.
I suspect it's going to be a very different match to the last one, where Australia were beaten pretty hard at a time when the Matildas, I guess the starting Matildas, were taking a break. A lot of new players got their opportunity that match. There were some really good positives to take away from it, but I think Sunday's match is going to be a really great one.
Spence sees the space out wide, and Blackwood looking to utilise that. Pressure, though, was too great. It was brilliant work from Atenia, who's switched across to this right-hand edge. Looks as though the wingers have switched sides for Spain. Cardona off to that left-hand edge, and she's receiving the pass now. Tomas Uroth, the goal scorer, picks out Esther. Teresa finds Shea. Atenia was asking for the pass, but it was really well read by Wiltshire, but given back again. And Baroja looking to make it 2 goals in the first half. Cross from Atenia, a decent one, and Esther will be wondering how she hasn't scored.
It was an absolutely fantastic build-up here from Spain. It's way too much time in the box here. No urgency to come out and win that. I think Esther's had that fall on a non-favoured foot. But again, that switch-up has worked quite well. Atenia on a right foot, getting that ball in. Really applying the pressure.
Probably had more time than she thought. The Real Madrid striker who scored 10 in 6 in qualifiers. third top scorer in Liga F this season. Vastly experienced player in Spain, has played for Levante, Atletico, Sporting de Huelva, and also Malaga. Rough pass, picked off by Spence. Can they create something here, Jamaica? Paula Thomas. Now Teresa. They just seem to have all the answers defensively at the moment. And to be fair, those back four for Spain are conserving a fair bit of energy at the moment because their midfield and front line are doing a lot of damage. Ivana finding Cardona. Space here for Atenia, looking to use the youngster. Neat header into space, but it just ran with the wind as though it was going downhill.
That's just way too easy for Spain. 2 passes has broken down the line of the midfield. Now the defence. You can see Wiltshire out of position again. Is just really struggling to stay in touch, that back four. They've been stretched from end to end. The move from, with Spain, Cardona and Atenia switching has really worked wonders for them. Here, have a drink break.
Just 22 years of age, the number 22 for Spain. In her 22nd cap. I don't know how many 22s you can get into one sentence, but it's pretty impressive for her at such a young age, and has started basically every match for Real Madrid. 18 of 19, just one appearance off the bench, and it's just a sign of the quality of this Spanish side that you've touched on, Walshy. The youngsters, the young players coming through, and they are dominating this match.
And every single match they get to play together and build that cohesion. And they've still got the older heads on there. Ivana is one of the players that stuck around and wasn't part of the conversation with the 15 players. And she steadies everything in the back line, but they've had a lot of chances today. They're starting to build some momentum in that final third. Esther's been busy. She's had a lot of touches on the ball. But again, right time, right place here for Oroth. And it's really just been the story of the day. Jamaica have just been disjointed in the back line. There's really no urgency to shut down the play. I think they back themselves when they keep Spain in front. There's been too many dangerous times where Spain have been able to get in behind as well, which is not something, it's not really characteristic like for them. But they're seeing the opportunity and they're taking it.
Lorne Donaldson giving some instructions to his side as well. What do you think his message is at the drinks break, Walshy? What do they need to change?
I think they need to be a little bit more disciplined and keep their shape. It's the one thing, we saw the shape when the match first started, and they've just been disjointed since. They've got to keep the ball. They look a little bit tired, so they need to make sure that they keep it when they receive it. Actually haven't had an issue in getting it. It's just coughing it up in really bad areas, which is really, you know, those cheap turnovers really build momentum for Spain, but they have had their moments. I think Matthews up top really needs to back herself and just take it to goal next time she gets that opportunity, because she sensed there will be. This is a young squad from Spain. They've also lost their shape at times.
Wiltshire trying to hold off Esther, giving it a red-hot go, gives away the free kick in the end.
Well, she's had a lot to do today, hasn't she? I think they really need to get Spence on the ball. We talked about a pre-match. I don't think she's touched the ball too many times. You can see they're trying to really keep that flat line in the midfield. Maybe Spence could either sit a bit higher.
Shea sliding this pass in behind for Atenia. Again, it's going to run away from her with that strong breeze. You can see with the corner flag making life pretty difficult for her down that right flank to chase down a few of those passes in behind. But Wiltshire, as you touched on, Walshy, she has been given a really tough test on that left flank, but also Swaby over on the right. They've got some quality wingers, Spain.
They do. We talked about Havana Salon, number 6. She's a fantastic player. They probably need her in the midfield to be able to get her foot on the ball and start to really dictate the pace of this match. Get a team comfortable with the ball. Without her, I'm just not seeing anyone step up in the midfield to make that happen for Jamaica. It's really leaving the back four under a significant amount of pressure.
Tough debut in Jamaican colours for Victoria Williams. Just trying to nick it off Gonzalez. Mendes, one of those players that have won underage world titles with Spain. Maria Mendes, part of the under-17 FIFA Women's World Cup winning side back in 2018. Padayuelo and even Navarro also part of that. On the bench today, I hope we get to see Padayuelo. She is such an exciting player. She's won gold medals at Youth Olympics in 400-metre hurdles. So just think about how quick she is when you take the hurdles away.
She's good with the ball too, so she's a real danger. And I do wonder if they're saving her for Sunday against the Matildas. I have no doubt that the Matildas would have watched a lot of their football and picked her out as a real threat.
And you just think what she's going to be like in a few years' time. She's only 19 years of age. Atenia going to find some kind of incision into the box, but Wiltshire was up to it.
It's been a really great little battle here. Atenia is still over this side. I suspect that Jamaica are going to have that physical battle set.
Are you giving a little win to Wiltshire at the moment in the battle with Atenia, Walshy?
Well, I think it's probably not Atenia's strength to try play the ball in behind Wiltshire, but look, I think Wiltshire's holding up really nicely. I mean, for the amount of pressure they're under, they're not getting much support from their midfield. It's just wave and wave after wave of attack.
Cardona stepping onto the right. And now Teresa trying to launch a long bomb from outside the box. Has scored a few for Real Madrid this season. Another one of those players regularly used, at least recently, by Jorge Vilda, starting in that holding midfield spot for Spain. But for Real Madrid, she's been used 8 times starting out of 16 appearances this season. And there's a free kick earned by Spain, a chance now off the back of that free kick win by Esther.
Battle there for Esther and Alison Swaby. Yeah, you could really just see the amount of time that a lot of these players have spent together through that Real Madrid squad. Just the awareness and understanding of each other's runs. A lot of times balls being played without looking.
9 players in this Spanish squad to have played for Real Madrid. Sitting behind Barca in the Liga F standings this season. So Teresa over the set piece. A little change up here. And it almost worked a treat for Thornotha. Just dropping into some space on the penalty spot. pass just placed over the top by Teresa. Tomas finds Uroth. Carmona linking with Shea. Dropping it back for Thornotha. Mendes. And Teresa. Tomas right against the sideline, finding Cardona. It spills for Uroth. Cardona almost was able to slide through a gap, but just lost her footing at the key moment. And Drew Spence earns the free kick.
A couple touches too many there. All the way back to the halfway to come back. You just see how deep Jamaica is sitting now. Only no interest to get out of their own backline, out of their own defensive third. I think if I'm being super critical on Spain, they haven't been clinical in the areas they need to be.
Atenia. The run there of Esther. She's going to go herself and find the pass to Cardona. And that's what you're talking about, Walshy. They have had strikes from outside the box, but they haven't been able to get them on target.
You need to see the awareness here. Teresa leaving this ball here for Cardona. And again, Atenia has just been great on the ball. Got to be better there in front of goal. You expect that to be better. The quality of Cardona, at least to make the keeper make a save.
Considering the lack of pressure as well, had a bit of time to place it. So the only goal so far in this first half off the back of a stunning hit from Thornotha into the post, into the crossbar and then down, and Maite Uroth was able to finish for her second international goal. Shayna Matthews, good strength here. And Blackwood's given up on it, but there's a reason why. They're coming back for the free kick. Lara Lee saying there was a bit too much in the contest. Shayna Matthews earning it, and now a chance for Jamaica. This is an opportunity for them right before half-time to make something happen.
With too much on Matthews there. Oh, that's a tough call.
I don't know which player she was picking out. There was 1, 2, 3 Spanish players. And there didn't look to be a whole lot.
No foul.
So Paige Bailey-Gale out of Crystal Palace. Was floating it to the back post. And Victoria Williams got up. It spilled. And Spain are able to get it clear eventually. Gee whiz, that was a nervy moment. And Williams' shoulder almost setting up an opportunity again for the Reggae girls. But this is where Spain can strike just as Jamaica push forward. That is a good foul, isn't it? Because Spain were looking ominous with that space in behind.
Well, they've had a lot of possession and really haven't capitalised. But here again, they're always going to have the advantage of height here, Jamaica, against Spain. And they've really just switched off for a moment there. Tough call on the foul. It's a scary moment for Spain. And you've got to think they're going to go into this half-time break soon. A little bit disappointed to not be up more than one. Had their moments. Again, just like that quality in front of goal. And I think the coach would definitely be disappointed about that.
Well, she'll wish she had a time over again there, Alison Swaby. She just didn't get a great piece of the strike on goal. Had she, would have been 1-1. Would have been a real test for Init in goals. She hasn't had much to do. The hardest work she's had today was putting the boot back on. That's about all she's been made to do in this first half when it fell off. Blackwood. Well, that's well blocked by Shea.
Yeah, we're just not seeing the usual Blackwood, actually. Normally she'd like to hit that ball in front. She's quite quick. That's that ball, and Williams gets a touch on. You can see McKenna keeps it alive. But Blackwood using a pace down the wing, just not seeing that today, and I really do think there's a fair bit of jet lag out there. Not seeing that from Spain. Not easy when you have the ball.
Cardona, Esther trying to stay onside. The flag stays down for the moment. Atenia making the run into some space, but Esther goes herself. Now that is an intriguing move because Esther was running into the middle of the box with no one around her, no one within 10 metres, but Esther went for the audacious.
Well, it looked like she thought she was offside. You know, when you pick up the ball as a striker, you think you're offside. Didn't have a run in the box, actually. Midfielders had given up on the play, thinking so as well. Conserving energy. That's one of those moments. Oroth not making a run into the box, holding up.
Well, Jorge Vilda, is he going to go to his bench before half-time? You can see Redondo getting ready. She is a player, leading scorer in the Liga F this season. For Levante, 18 goals in 19. Maybe he's thinking we need some more goals, and he's not happy with how it's playing out at the moment. Expect not too much stoppage time at the end of this half. Tomas and Thornotha towards Oroth. Spence got it away, but only as far as Teresa. Oroth let it run on. An air swing from Swaby, and Spain with another corner. So we've got 3 minutes of additional time, and that, of course, is down to the water break we had at the half-hour mark. No other stoppages of note in this first half. Teresa again short on the corner, as you'd expect. Spain don't mind it, as lumped into the box. Atenia look to launch on the left. A potential own goal opportunity. Williams unable to get it away. Well, she's been fouled. Esther, incredulous. She can't believe it. But Lara Lee has spotted a foul on Victoria Williams in the build-up.
Fascinating play here. The ball ends up coming in. You can see it looks like it's been handled. Atenia gets her shot cut off. Almost an own goal. Esther comes in. Looks like the foul's on Williams. Fair enough in the back. We've seen a lot given for less. We get really lucky here, Jamaica, just really riding their luck. Even just giving away that corner in the first place. You can see Teresa and Atenia have no interest in.
Esther in behind, one-on-one with Spencer. She finishes this time, and this time it will stand for Esther Gonzalez. Her 21st goal in Spanish colours. And La Roja double their lead before half-time.
This is a super clinical finish here from Esther. Ball in from Cardona. She holds a run up just beautifully, sitting in between Williams and Swaby. Just holds the ball up just enough to bring Spencer out. Opens her hips and hits a far post. It's a really beautiful finish. She gets a moment, Esther, and doesn't miss.
Well, that's why she's the third top scorer in Liga F this season, and she scored 5 in her last 6 in that competition. Well, in all matches, you can make it 6 in 7, Esther. And doesn't she love it? Beginning the Cup of Nations in style. And what was that? The slingshot attempted off the kickoff from Jamaica. And Thornotha. Wouldn't be surprised if she went for a strike from there, based on what we've seen in her career. And in this match today, decided against it. And now Shea dropping it back for Mendes. And that will be half-time in Gosford. Spain dominating this first half, possession and chances. Oroth was able to finish the opening goal, her second in international football. And then Esther Gonzalez with goal number 21 for Spain. Jamaica with some half chances. Alison Swaby with a chance to get one and get them level before half time at that point. But in the end, at half time, Spain 2, Jamaica 0.
Spain in control at Central Coast Stadium with the lead at halftime against the Reggae Girls. We've got the halftime show here on Paramount Plus. Andy Harper joining us next. Look back at that first 45 and look ahead to the Matildas clash with Czechia a little bit later on this afternoon. We'll see you soon.
Once again, halftime here at Industry Group Stadium. Of course, Spain taking on Jamaica. And of course, Walls, we're looking at the world ranking of 7 taking on 44. And it's only 2-0. Obviously, a late goal scored by Spain. But what are your overall thoughts on this match so far?
Yeah, look, I honestly thought we would see this sort of at half-time. Spain have really promising building up. We're about to get smashed by a sprinkler ash, so let's just move over here around Cameron's equipment. It's going to get absolutely drenched. Let's talk football down there. Makes it almost opening with the goal there. And then Esther with the second one. I feel like that goal just before half-time was exactly what Spain needed. I was a bit concerned that they were going to get stuck there in terms of scoring. When it had the denied chance and then also converted just before half-time, I would not be surprised if we go into the second half and see it come out absolutely fire.
Correct. I mean, Jamaica did extremely well to hold on. Their defence is absolutely outstanding. I think they also be a little bit upset about losing that second goal there, but of course they will have to come out for the second half firing as well. But football, that's to take place. Of course, we've still got another game to go tonight. The Matildas, they'll be joining us very, very soon. They're not yet in the house, so to speak, but they'll be walking through this tunnel ever so soon.
We were really hoping for this segment we could do the Matildas are in the house.
Melbourne City versus Melbourne Victory. So much at stake in the derby. The history between these two clubs runs deep.
Here's Aloisi again! Well, the new boys are on their way, and it just had to be John Aloisi. Archie Thompson does have his first goal in the derby.
Is this the moment for victory? It is!
Big games produce big moments. Tim Cahill yet again.
McLaren against his own. 2 goals in 3 minutes, and City have blown the derby wide open.
A massive massive weekend of Isuzu Ute A-League action coming up for you on Paramount Plus, and 10 bowls, including this one. The Melbourne Derby, Melbourne Victory take on Melbourne City Saturday night. Do not miss a minute of the action. Welcome back to Central Coast Stadium. It is lovely to have your company at halftime in Spain's clash with Jamaica. The Cup of Nations is underway. My name is Neve Owens. I'm here alongside Andy Harper. Happy match day one, Harps.
Yes, what a great concept, the Cup of Nations, timed beautifully for the final preparations, really, in some senses, for the mid-year World Cup. And it's great to be. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here on the coast.
You would be loving it because we're just slowly working our way
North.
Towards Newcastle.
Yeah, with a slight deviation on
week.
Sunday, back south again.
That's it.
It all points to Newcastle midweek.
Let's have a look back at the goals from the first half, because Spain, Harps, absolutely in control of this game. They scored early in the half, they consolidated it late, and they had it mainly their own way.
Yeah, this is the beauty of watching Spain, is that whether they're the men's teams or the women's teams, whether they're the senior or the age group teams, the format is exactly the same. A beautiful goal in the end, but set up by, I think, the best player on the field today so far, Sornosa, the number 21. Beautiful left foot, we can see it in its full glory there, hitting the crossbar. And Oroz out of midfield. Their midfield three's been very good. She's been excellent, Oroz, and she gets the goal. And, of course, the second goal, well, not of course, because people are just tuning in. Esther with another goal to add to her international cash. She's a beautiful player and plays as the number 9 in the Spanish system, which starts them in between and around the two centre halves, but very often dropping into midfield as that extra player. But on this particular goal, she was playing that line. Maybe in a World Cup, a slight call for offside on VAR. It was a really tight line, but in the end, it was a good goal, great finish, and completely reflective of the pattern of the game, I'd say, Neve.
She peppered the goal, didn't she, throughout that half. Victoria Williams for Jamaica, getting her body behind the ball on so many occasions. And the halftime stats absolutely telling the story, both in terms of the 2-0 scoreline, but the possession stats as well. Passing accuracy too, heavily in favour of Spain, which, Harps, we know this Spanish side came to Australia without 15 of their top players. What does this say about the depth of football in Spain at the moment?
Yeah, well, I'll refer back to one of my opening comments, and that is it doesn't matter which Spanish national team, male or female, whatever age groups, the system produces players of great technical ability as a baseline. And then you get the real superstars on top of that. But the cookie cutter of Spanish football is on full show here. And Las Quince, the 15 who are in protest and not here, and they've voluntarily withdrawn from Spanish national team duty. On this evidence, it's not that you don't miss the great players, but it does reveal how much great depth Spain have got. Interesting on that topic, who knows how it's going to be resolved, and who knows of the politics in a dressing room, Neve, because if there is a resolution satisfactory to the 15 who've mounted their protest, what does it say when they walk back into the dressing room and the players who didn't protest, and those dynamics are going to be very, very interesting for the Spanish Federation and Coach Vilda to negotiate, navigate from this point to World Cup kickoff.
Barcelona v Real Madrid. It's the story, the tension that exists within Spanish football and within this dressing shed as well. Before we have a look ahead to the Matildas game, when you look towards the World Cup, is there a chance that the likes of Alexia Putellas, if she's fully fit, the current reigning Ballon d'Or winner, won't be a part of this Spanish team for the biggest tournament in women's football?
Well, I'm not sure what's going to break the cycle because they're in dispute, Canada are in dispute with their federation, but that's on a pay issue, and that can be resolved as a matter of bureaucracy and signing off on paper. Well, I mean, we're not to know the financial situation of things, but it's specifically about pay equity. We're not to believe that the Spanish situation is an issue of pay equity. This is a group of players who are in protest at the methods of the coach, Jorge Vilda, who is a cemented part of the Spanish Federation, and the Spanish Federation have backed the coach to this point, as have all the staff who are around him now and the players who are willingly part of this. How that's resolved, Neve, God only knows, but suffice to say that Alexia Putellas, the current best player in the world as adjudged by FIFA and the judges that go into that, If she's fit, it would be an incredible shame if she's not adorning the biggest stage at the right time.
For Spanish football fans, but also for Australian and New
Everybody,
Zealand football
exactly.
fans who want to see her here in action. Speaking of Aussie football fans, they'll be here at Central Coast Stadium this afternoon to see the Matildas take on Czechia. We've heard from the boss, Tony Gustafsson. He says this is a warm-up for the real deal. Tournament football starts now. What do you want to see over the course of the next week?
Well, I think a continuation of I think the ship turned around mid-year, actually, and some really impressive performances. The Spain one was unbelievable, and let's hope that the Matildas can get going on that trajectory again, starting with Czechia tonight.
We will see that right here on Paramount Plus and on 10 Bold this afternoon, but it is the second half between Spain and Jamaica coming up for you next from Central Coast Stadium. It is Spain with a 2-0 lead as we head for a quick break. On the other side, Ben Homer and Sarah Walsh to call the second half.
And Sam Kerr sets up Mary Fowler to give the Matildas the dream start. Gorry takes over. The effort, Gorry from distance. What a strike. And the Matildas are in front. Katrina Gorry. Razzo, the second ball, the follow-up from Razzo. The Matildas on fire. Kerr takes over. Van Egmond back for Ford. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Gorry's ball delivers. Kerr's header. And Sam Kerr scores. Goal number 12 of the year. It's a good ball in. It's there for Kerr! And she's done it! The late show is from the Matildas. 2 goals in less than 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes of the match, and Sam Kerr with her 57th international goal.
Please welcome now onto the pitch for the second half, Jamaica and Spain.
Welcome back to Industry Group Stadium in Gosford. This is match day 1 of the 2023 Cup of Nations, and it's Spain leading Jamaica 2-0. Uroth and Esther, the goal scorers for La Roja in the first half. And we've seen a few changes, and we'll get them all confirmed for you very, very soon. But one player definitely coming on is Alba Redondo, who is coming on for Esther Gonzalez. And she is a goal scorer. Just like Esther, hasn't been quite as prolific at senior level. 26 years of age, but has been banging in the goals for Levante this season. 18 in 19 in the Liga F. And you can see change on the way for Jamaica as well. Rachel Jones going to make her way out there. As you see, Redondo. And this is Eva Navarro. Now, Walshy, we spoke of her in the first half. She was part of that under-17 World Cup winning side back in 2018. And this is exciting because there's another player part of that side that's making her way onto the park as well. Salma Parayuelo. Alongside Redondo, this is going to be a great second half to watch for football fans as Lara Lee is about to get us started in Gosford. So Spain looking to continue on with where they left off in the first half. 2 goals, one right before half-time, and they have got a strike force who could pile up the goals in this second half, and looking forward to seeing how they go about it, Walshy.
Yeah, the intention's pretty clear. Coach wants to see some goals, so we're going to see some electric running here on the left-hand side here. Parajuelo, fantastic player on the ball here.
She's chasing after this ball over the top alongside Paula Tomas. Yeah, Parajuelo, you look at her stats, a hat-trick against Argentina on debut for the national team. What a way to make your entrance. Rachel Jones, another half-time substitute, but for Jamaica getting on the ball. Blackwood. And this is a dangerous ball towards McKenna. And just couldn't bring it under her control on the byline. And in the end, the chance goes begging, but McKenna getting a body about.
That's a great first touch, really, from Jones. The second half, beautiful ball in behind the defence. As you said, McKenna putting a body on the line. Scary first moments here for Spain.
So it looks as though they've made a switch in terms of personnel, with Wiltshire heading over to the right fullback spot. That's where Chantel Swaby was in the first half, and that has meant Denisha Blackwood has dropped in at left fullback. Swaby, of course, to the bench, or actually Swaby to the centre of defence, and Victoria Williams to the bench.
Wilshire on the right with Blackwood on the left.
So Redondo driving into the box and off the crossbar. And they've got it away clear. Dangerous moments for Jamaica, but chances flowing at both ends at the start of this second half. So that front three now for Spain. You've got Navarro over on the right, Redondo through the middle, Parajuelo on the left. Parajuelo playing her football with Barcelona, just one of 2 in this Spanish squad who play for Barca. As we touched on in the first half, 6 players of those 15 protesting and sitting out at the moment from Barcelona, the team currently absolutely dominating Liga F in Spain. 19 wins from 19. Uroth, the opening goal scorer, to Thonotha, put under real pressure by Spence. Found the pass to Ivana. And the captain is driving forward. Teresa floating it. Blackwood cutting it out. And Jamaica earning the free kick through McKenna.
We really haven't seen for Spain over many years a player like Parajuelo. You can see Thornotha challenge in the midfield. But I really do think she breaks the mould, brings something different to whips. We haven't seen a kind of player like her. She's equally as technical on the ball, but has pace and really great awareness. You can see her sit deep here. She can hug the line. She can sit on the last line of defence. It's a lot of different issues, challenges for... Oh, there's the commentator's voice. She's allowed one of those today. That's it.
Well, she is a naturally talented athlete, and I would just say at least it shows she's human. But just incredible, her athletics feats as well. You look at those gold medals she got in the 400 hurdles at the European Youth Olympics back in 2019. Also a gold in the medley relay, and smashed Spanish national records for 18 as an 18-year-old and as a 20-year-old for those age group records in the 400 hurdles. So also she's eligible for Equatorial Guinea, I should say, as her mum was born there. Decided to pick Spain, of course.
Oh, you can see what she does bring to Spain. I think I can count on my hand the amount of times that Ivana in the back line has hit a long ball. Actually, that's the first I've seen today. They get to really change things up with the likes of Parajuelo and Redondo up top.
And we're touching on this off-air at half-time. While it's a good thing for Spain, isn't it, to have a different way of going about things.
Yeah, and we were talking about the Men's World Cup and the real lack of variety the men's team had.
And that ball is a dangerous one towards Tomas, who looking for a goal on debut. Redondo also in there, but it was Paula Tomas from Levante who had the best opportunity.
Pushed it in here, Navarro, great run in from Tomas. Look how high and central she's playing. Their left back making runs into the box. Imagine that's something that the coach would have talked about. There wasn't enough desperation to get on the end of a cross, be that option in the middle. It really should have been up a couple more goals in that first half.
Parajuelo charging down the left, but Tomas used Thornotha instead. She opts for Eva Navarro. Already a World Cup winner at under 17 level, Navarro. And she's going to earn a side of throw here for the pressure she put on Denisha Blackwood. So 3 of those last 4 Youth International World Cups going the way of Spain. The last 2 under 17s. And of course the under 20s last year in Costa Rica. Australia were part of their pool. Played Spain in the final pool match, and Parajuelo scored a couple in the final, the victory in the 3-1 win over Japan. Spence, good strength, and Blackwood gets it away, but it's just handing back possession to Spain.
Fiamma Benitez was also there for that World Cup in 2022, and so they are just producing the talent wave after wave. You can really see there's a strong vertical, I guess, association or link between the senior national team and the way in which the junior national teams have played, and countries that can do that. Japan for a long time were able to do that. I think they were, for women's football, they were the first to do it really well. You could see the style vertically as you look down at the junior national teams, and that's what we have here. So you can see that the federation really backed the coach for whatever reason.
Good control from Tomas. And this is bending Swaby to Swaby. They get it away eventually. Thornotha or Roth. Mendes found Oroth, and numbers there if they were able to win back possession, Jamaica. Couldn't do so. And even Navarro running at Blackwood, sending it this way and that. Blackwood tries to go in, and Lara Lee says she got the ball. And now Jamaica through Shayna Matthews. Earns the free kick. And it looks as though Ivana is going to get a talking to from the referee.
That was Teresa who really pulls on the shirt here. It's the earlier challenge. Good on Navarro. They're just lacking that outlet, Jamaica.
And the lack of Khadijah Shaw there for all to see. McKenna doing a solid job up there. Shayna Matthews, we know she hasn't had a lot of game time. Giving birth to her third son last year with her husband Jordan Matthews, who actually plays NFL for the San Francisco 49ers. So an athletic family, those three boys. You sense they'll be talented, and they'll be talented Jamaican athletes in the future. She'll have an opportunity here, Shayna Matthews, to get on the end of this set piece. Got some height.
Oh, well, she's had a lot of opportunities. She's held the ball up at times. It's just the lack of support when she gets in those positions. Ivana doing enough there to keep the corner out. They will back themselves on set pieces. It's something they have the strength over Spain on. They just need a really good delivery in.
And Lara Lee going to have a chat to Kayla McKenna and also Enid Salon, the Spanish goalkeeper. Is driven in fiercely at the near post. Spence got up and about. Patajuelo got the clearance away, only as far as Wiltshire, who uses Blackwood. She's come from the corner, the left fullback, and has given away possession. Well, here's a real opportunity. Eva Navarro showing her speed, running away. Navarro goes down. Lara Lee has no option but to point to the spot as Bailey Gale gave away the penalty. And she goes into the book for a yellow card. It was a footballing challenge, so not a red.
I didn't really see the full connection in the box here. Good to see on the replay, but again, a bad touch here from Blackwood. Again, very, very quick ball in. Navarro uses the speed. You can see Swaby does enough to drive her out wide. Good to see here, was there a touch? Yeah, there was. That's enough to bring it down. There's no doubt that Navarro has drawn the foul here, or at least leaned into it and followed through. But again, it was off the back of a mistake. A really poor position. I think it was Thornotha who played the ball in. It was a great ball in behind.
Oh, hold on a second. So, Lara Lee, we know the VAR is not in play. Just going and having a chat to the assistant referee now. Is she saying that she wasn't going for the ball, or it's going to be a red card here? Is she? No, it's going to be a drop ball, so she's cancelled the penalty. Whoa, can you believe that? There was definitely contact.
It's changed the course of everything, this contact here. And actually, think about it, she has struck a leg out. It's unnatural, really. There's no doubt that's a foul.
Well, Paige Bailey-Gale says, no, I didn't touch her. Well, the replay shows differently. And Lorne Donaldson, he'll be happy with that decision, but let's say if it was a competitive match and it was deadlocked and it wasn't a friendly, and there might be some questions asked. But in the end, it may not matter.
Yeah, you suspect that Lara Lee actually saw it live. It was a really big decision to change your mind, particularly without VAR.
But also referees are told to trust their assistants, aren't they? It's a tough one, isn't it? If your assistant says one thing and you say, no, I'm going with my decision. But you are the centre referee, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I think she was close to the action. It's a really late touch here from Spencer. Zornotha, I believe it is. Spence, sorry, she really hasn't been able to get into this match. We'll start to see substitutions.
Yeah, they're going to flood on now. Berto Pujadas getting ready alongside Fiamma Benitez. So Pujadas is going to be a straight swap. The Valencia defender started 15, the first 16 appearances for Valencia in Liga F. Called up for the injured Bibiane Schulze. And has been really important for Valencia this season. And Zornotha is coming to the sideline. And the fourth official has just disappeared for a moment. And Rebecca Ducot is going to put the board up and confirm that Fiamma is going to replace Zornotha. And you heard Sarah Walsh a moment ago touch on her. She was part of that under-20s side that won the World Cup last year in Costa Rica. And Shayna Matthews, she's replaced up front. Cameron Simmons coming on from the Uni of Tennessee. Actually began her sporting life as a gymnast, but made the change as an 11-year-old to football after she fractured her elbow. And she made the move to football. And you can also see Trudy Carter. She's going to add some speed and pace up front. Got a lot of energy. Usually plays as part of a front three, but hasn't played much football lately. Looking for a club at the moment as this free kick from Spain is deep. Too deep in the end. Just be the goal kick.
Simmons has some big shoes to fill up front in that number 11 jersey. Khadijah Shaw's number. But they really do need that energy up top. I think they're going to get that from Carter, dropping in deep as well. She likes to come forward. She also can get in behind. They really just need some energy. Players that are really going to want the ball.
And you speak about that next match for Spain up against the Matildas on Sunday at Combank Stadium. That's sort of the grand final, or that is the biggest match for them. For Jamaica up against the Czech Republic, that's probably the biggest match for them in terms of wanting to win. Of course, they want to beat Spain and Australia, but in terms of the closest opposition to them, that's a huge opportunity. So you can sense Drew Spence leaving the field. She's going to be important in that match.
Yeah, I know it's considered it's a Cup of Nations and it's a friendly tournament, but it really is a habit winning. I think there's no team here that doesn't want to win and lift that cup. It's a really good way to start off the year. It'd be great for the Matildas finishing the year that they had. That big win against Sweden.
Problems again here. Redondo is through. Just got tangled up in her feet. Cadayuelo is charging towards the middle of the box, getting in position to finish off and keep her superb goal-scoring record in national team matches.
You can see here she loves to run with the ball, taking players on one-on-one. Bad touch there in the end. She's dangerous when she finds that space.
And Redondo back on the ball. Teresa to Tomas. Carajuelo. What a battle for Wiltshire. She had a tennier in the first half. Padayuelo in the second half.
Well, I think she switched to get a break. She got one of their best players. That's completely unfair. But I guess back to the Matildas, I think in terms of the scheduling, it's really great. I believe that the biggest match, no disrespect to Czechia or Jamaica, will be on Sunday against Spain, as you mentioned. And by that stage, the Matildas and also Spain will be able to get over that jet lag. It's a real thing. 10-day windows, 3 matches, it's a lot. And so, something that people might not know is that the Matildas have only had 1 training session in 3 months, that is, since they played. So, and there's a lot of players that haven't had full-time football. So every single day you get with the team to be able to, glue and build that cohesion, it really matters. So I think we're up for a cracker on Sunday.
Of course, don't forget the Matildas in action from 6:30 tonight on Paramount Plus and on 10 Bold. Their opening match against Czechia. And the Czechia players just sitting in front of us in the grandstand watching this first match as they get set to go tonight. Roth need to turn away from the pressure which was approaching from Simmons. Paige Bailey-Gale got away with the penalty and just clutching at a calf, so maybe she will be heading off the field very, very soon. Don't want to risk injury, especially just getting off a flight yesterday. Neatly slid ball into Redondo. Roth. And Pujadas is able to find Thomas. Well cut out by Bailey-Gale. And the pressure just coming from this Spanish side with fresh legs. And there's a lot of space there for Fiamma, who just pokes her shot wide. She's just come onto the field, and these substitutes for La Roja, they really want to impress Jorge Vilda.
She's taken this ball from outside the box. Really, no one wanted to put pressure on it. Should have done better there, really. It opened up. See, Alison Swaby, all she could do is push her wide. But again, she pushed her onto a non-preferred foot, which is a good thing in the end.
Rebecca Spencer with the goal kick. She's done a lot of that today. The WSL Cup winner back in 2012 with Birmingham. Star in that penalty shootout and debuted for Jamaica back in 2021, as we see another free kick go the way of the Reggae girls.
And more often than not, you're seeing Jamaica picking up the ball, surrounded by a sea of red shirts. We're just not seeing that for Jamaica. There's just really no pressure on the ball, and Spain are just so very quick to win it back. And this one resulting in a foul.
So Jorge Vilda just having a chat to Rebecca Ducot, the 4th official. Maybe about a few decisions he thought may have gone the other way. But they're sitting comfortably. Spain up against this Jamaican side, who we haven't touched on, Walshy, but really relying a lot on the diaspora. Just 3 players who played their youth football and grew up in Jamaica as part of this squad. A lot of them either from England or the USA, with family members who are from Jamaica, like Drew Spence, English international, players like her. But I sense that is just increasing the strength of this side.
It is, and you know, the NCAA, the college system over there, has also had a big hand in developing their players. And I think, you know, you're starting to see that as a worldwide, I guess, development. We saw that through the Men's World Cup, even with the Socceroos. But, you know, I think that the development in the US is probably a really good one. Obviously, it's worked for US soccer for a long time. Haiti also being the same.
That's the thing, we touched on Cameron Simmons through the Uni of Tennessee, playing in the NCAA competition. Jodie Brown, who's on the bench. She was part of the Florida State side that made the semis, went down to North Carolina 3-2.
And these are some of their starting players too, so, you know, wouldn't be surprised if they are resting them today for the Czechia match. Maybe they didn't recover from the jet lag well enough. We won't know, but...
So the Matildas on their way. And look at the fans lining up as they head into the dressing rooms here at Central Coast Stadium, Industry Group Stadium in Gosford. And what a legend, Sam Kerr will be on show tonight, looking to add to her impressive goal-scoring record. So 6:30, you can catch that one on 10 Bold and also right here on Paramount Plus. Tarajuelo, Redondo. Well, Tarajuelo just lost a footing there out of nowhere. Maybe an opportunity for Fiamma to finish this time. It's almost a carbon copy. She's hit a left foot strike within a metre of the goal, again wide.
She's got to be more clinical there. That was a beautiful play. So she found herself, first touch really set her up. She had, this time, applied pressure on the ball. Just not good enough, aiming for far post. She just has to be more clinical there.
Tuharas just straining back to ensure Jamaica didn't have an opportunity there. Shea floating it to Redondo. They grab a goal, they will feel they're a real chance, Jamaica, and they have created some half chances. Kayla McKenna right after half time. And also Chantel Swaby right before the break, could have made it 1-1 at that point.
Well, that kind of fizzled out, that play, but it was much better. Bailey Gale picking up the ball on the right-hand side and switching it quickly. They just haven't moved the ball quick enough today. Something that Spain do well. Really shift it quickly. It's not frantic football either. There's a little bit more life in this midfield with Carter there. They just need her on the ball more.
It was a good intervention by Vian Sampson, but given away again. And these substitutes as well for Jamaica. Just adding some spark, and Trudy Carter, as you touched on, while she a real energetic player in the centre of midfield, looking to create something for these front line. Navarro swiveling and turning. And this is where Spain will be frustrated. Just unable to increase their advantage since that 2-0 lead at half-time.
Again, it's just that final pass letting them down. You can see how deep, again, Jamaica are. There's no interest in squeezing Spain up. I want to allow that space in behind, particularly with the speed up top now. Parajuelo and Redondo.
So Tiffany Cameron about to replace Paige Bailey-Gale for Lorne Donaldson's team. The Canadian international has made the switch now to Jamaica. 6 caps for the Canadian national side back in 2013. Currently playing with Ferencváros in Hungary. She's played across the world in the US, Germany, Sweden, Norway. She's ticked a lot of nations off the list in her travels. The 31-year-old looking to have an impact inside the final 17 or so minutes. Fiamma Boroth has been out there for the entire match so far. Dinking over the top. Another player who's been out there since kick-off, Teresa. Around the corner for Navarro. Swaby down in the box, sitting down for Jamaica, looking to stretch out a cramp. And Lara Lee has said, we'll call a halt to proceedings, and you sense that that may be the end for Swaby.
Yeah, it's a real challenge. Playing a day after arriving. I don't want to make the excuses. Spain have done the same. It just catches up with you. They've gone up for this header, and you suspect it's just a cramp. You hope for her sake.
Both teams are going to take the opportunity to have a drink now as we head towards the final quarter hour of this one. And you'd probably say to this point, Walshy, as we have a look at the opportunities for both sides in the second half, room for improvement for both, and that's probably expected in the first match of a tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And they started really strong here, Jones, with this ball. I mean, if this goes in, we're talking about a very different game, and maybe Spain are on the back foot. Navarro, again, this not given, this penalty initially given and taken away by the assistant referee on the far side of the pitch. Yeah, Bailey Gale saying she didn't touch her. The replay suggesting she did. It really just did take the sting out of it. But again, wave and wave after attack. Positive for Jamaica, I will say, even though they've given away a lot of possession here. Again, it really should have been put away there by Fiamma. But they've been able to keep Spain in front. I think they as a back line, they've been a little bit more disciplined, and particularly keeping in touch with the midfield. There was too many times in that first half we were seeing Spain even turn them around, and players that wouldn't ordinarily take players on in behind were doing so. Teresa tried it a couple of times, and we're just not seeing that. It's not as open. So they've really taken the game away from a player like Parajuelo, who really thrives on the space to use her speed. They've really shut that down. So I guess that's one positive that they can take away from this second half.
So Swaby walks from the field. We just saw a change with Oroth leaving the park, the goal scorer for Spain in the first half, replaced by Marta Caro. He's been a consistent presence in the midfield for Valencia this season, but also across her 6 seasons at the club. Jorge Vilda, you sense he would probably have liked a few more goals from his side today. Still time to grab a few more though. Teresa. And here is Caro. Parajuelo, always dangerous whenever she gets on the ball. This time she's feeding Fiamma, and this time it is picture perfect from Fiamma Benitez. Third time lucky, and there's the third for Spain.
Oh, this is stunning football here. We knew we were going to see it at some point. Parajuelo starts this beautifully. She holds it up. You can see she holds up Primus, who's just really getting beaten. But the shot here from Fiamma finally gets it on her right foot. And she doesn't miss from there. Done such a good job so far to keep her on her left and drive her wide. But that is a stunning strike there. Fantastic play from Spain.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And that's exactly what Fiamma did. A couple of opportunities with a left, onto the right, bang, into the top corner. A few spiders knocked out here at Industry Group Stadium. And this scoreline will be a little bit more pleasing for Spain and coach Jorge Vilda. Rother's goal following off a strike from Thornotha. Esther's a breakaway after a lovely through ball. And then a stunning strike from Fiamma. World Cup winner at under 20 level with Spain last year. And looking to do it with the national side a little bit later on this year.
Well, that's the standard we've come to expect from players like this. That is just a stunning strike. You won't see a better one. She had a lot to do. She didn't want to miss that one. One quick touch on a preferred, smacks it top right. Spencer really had no chance.
Third cap for the national team, first international goal for Fiamma Benitez, and that's one she's going to savour. Parajuelo's pass picked off by Primus. Wiltshire got it away, but as it has been for the majority of this match so far, all hands to the pump for Jamaica defensively. Neat link up, Redondo and Shea. Still going in the 81st minute, Shea Garcia. And that's well played, really well done by Rachel Jones, who's looked good off the bench. Just run into a position of difficulty was Cameron Simmons. And Spain able to pinch it back, but Rachel Jones, part of the North Carolina team, the Uni of North Carolina team that made the final of the NCAA competition last year, went down in that final 3-2 to UCLA. She is a quality player. And she's shown that in this second half. Good strength on the ball, able to create a half chance there for Jamaica.
I think that's something they do well. We see a shot up top for Spain. Shea, who's the right back, following up on a 1-2 on the edge of the box, leaving that space up top on the left. And Jones, that's the beauty of their style of play. They wait and wait for their moments. And Teresa on Primus, she's had a tough game, Primus. Not had a lot of ball, but had done a lot of running. You're right, Jones just always knows where to stay. I think she hedges her bets and stays high. That time Shea moved forward.
Wiltshire hooks it in. Oh, and it's a corner. Well, let's just say she hasn't had a whole lot to do in this match. Enid Salon, but the moment she has got involved, she's looked a little nervy.
Yeah, but this should be a really simple pickup. Right, when you haven't touched the ball for a while, you've got to stay switched on, and she hasn't done that there. Again, good delivery can have Jamaica back in this, at least with some hope.
So it's Blackwood's corner. And she's driving it into a tough area. Enid got the punch away. And it may be coming back with some interest. Header at the back post, an opportunity now. Just left by Swaby, but it's going to be a goal kick in the end. She thought the last touch was off a Spanish player. And now we're going to see another stoppage. Fiamma, the goal scorer, just unhappy with her right knee.
Solid ball in there. Jones keeping it alive. And Swaby's just got to do a bit better here. I think these are the things Vilda's not going to be happy with. Those small little mistakes. Mistake from Anit against a team that is dominant on set pieces. These are the things that I guess young teams really have to learn through, you know, getting those match minutes under their belt.
So Fiamma have to leave the pitch. It looked as though trainer was giving the thumbs up. Yeah. Jorge Vilda just giving a little bit of instruction as to how they should set up, with Fiamma getting some treatment. So they're going to play with 10 for the moment. A little bit of practice just in case there's a red card at some point. Of course, they wouldn't want that, but good opportunity just to see how they deal with it. Parayuelo, Teresa, and now Caro. And Navarro giving chase, but Spencer has been solid in goals for Jamaica, has been tested on occasion. Let's be fair, the 3 goals she couldn't do much about, the Jamaican goalkeeper.
Well, I think, you know, this is one of those ones where the scoreline at this stage doesn't really reflect what we've seen today. It's been a dominant display by Spain. I think Jamaica really want to be better the next 2 matches. We've seen them play so much better than this, particularly in the late stages last year. They qualified strong.
Really big win against Costa Rica in the direct qualification matchup in that 3rd place playoff in the CONCACAF Championships, where Kiki Van Zanten, who we haven't seen today, came on extra time, scored the winner. Beautiful pass from Drew Spence to set it up. And that's the kind of effectiveness they have with their speed. Speaking of speed, Parayuelo curving to the back post. That is really well done by Denisha Blackwood.
A stunning ball in from Parayuelo, and Blackwood just giving it away again. It's these moments that they're losing, Jamaica. Again, quick ball out, touch on the left hand. What a beautiful little touch around Wilshere. Just sneaking it in behind the defence. You wonder if Redondo needs to just get a touch on that, allowing it to go past to Navarro.
Well, you just wonder, what is she going to do in her career? Salma Parayuelo, 19 years of age. Currently with Barcelona, mainly coming off the bench this season. 4 starts in 11, but 7 goals. 7 goals, and she's only started 4 matches. The top scorer in that competition, Redondo, who she's next to up top with 18.
You just think about the training environment that she's in there at Barcelona. One of the best in the world, so she's learning in that environment daily. The more match minutes she gets for her national team, the better she's going to get. I like about her that she's comfortable playing where she is, allowing Thomas to get around. She's comfortable in tight spaces.
So it looks as though Spain are going to play with 10 for the moment. Fiamma, by the looks of it, won't be coming back on. They have said she's going to have a seat. Is Jorge Vilda just going to say, well, why don't we play with 10, get a little bit of practice? Or they might bring someone on. We'll wait and see. Navarro finds Redondo. They may even grab a goal, a player down. That pass asked too much of Caro.
I'm not sure I've seen that before.
What's that?
A coach actively play with 10.
Well, it certainly seems to be happening. I'm getting the abacus out, and there's definitely only 10 out there, Walshy.
Yeah, I saw him wave Fiamma away. I think that meant you're not coming back on, but I mean, there's nothing here to risk here.
And there's still fresh players on the bench. You got Hermoso there, Guerrero. So plenty of options for Jorge Vilda. wants to change things around. We know Fiamma plays in the midfield, so sure there's tactical switches he could make to get someone like Hermoso out there, but obviously he wants to put her in cotton wool.
I mean, there's really no need to play players a day after having arrived.
No, fair point, Walshy, but we want to see her.
Oh, I think we'll see her Sunday.
Good ball in. Padayuelo turning away from a couple. Can she get a shot on goal? She can't. Lays it off for Tomas. What a debut for her, playing the entire match. As we tick down towards stoppage time in this opening match of the 2023 Cup of Nations. Caro. Redondo. Padayuelo tried to return it to Mate Caro. And it looks as though there's an offside against Cameron Simmons, who got involved and came through the back of Maria Mendes. Now, I feel like there was an issue with the board there. Number 0.
Well, I think I saw a 5. Is that 5 minutes extra time? Yep.
Well, yeah. So it is 5 minutes of additional time, but it looked as though there was a substitute between 0 and 5. I'm not going to get into the debate while she ran, is 0 a number or not? I'll leave that for the mathematics classes. But what we can confirm is we've got 5 minutes of additional time. Padayuelo versus Wiltshire. Well, she's got to give herself a big tick, Tierney Wiltshire. She's without a club at the moment. Surely there'll be some coming knocking after seeing this performance today. She's had Antia in the first half, and then in the second, Padayuelo, 2 quality young players for Spain, and she's been able to keep them quiet to this point. As Padayuelo runs and links with Redondo. Now finds Shea. And Shea is floating. Spencer got an important touch just to knock it out of the path. And the flag was up anyway.
There's decisive play there from Spencer coming out, getting that important touch. Looks like they've called Navarro offside.
Tottenham goalkeeper launching for one of the final times today. So their next assignment, Jamaica, on Sunday when they take on the Czech Republic, Czechia, as they are now known. Benitez. Spanish goalkeeper hasn't had a whole lot to do today, to do a little bit of work there. Redondo, this is a foot race. Wiltshire versus Padayuelo. And Wiltshire is pulled up lame. Padayuelo cuts it back. Spain looking for one more for the road. And now maybe a chance for Jamaica to spring forward. And Simmons has given it up. Just as Swaby looked to be keen to start something. Wiltshire is really lame. Redondo spots that. Looks for Padayuelo, overhits the pass.
We're starting to see some tired plays even now from the substitutes. Redondo really hasn't been able to get a foothold of this match.
See Wiltshire, as I said, without a club after she was with Houston Dash last season, didn't get an opportunity in the NWSL. It's also played in Finland and also in Israel. But she'll want game time ahead of the World Cup, and surely She's putting herself in the shop window for an NWSL club, you would think. With this performance today, she has gone right until the end and still out there despite maybe just cramping up a little.
Yeah, I think she's been fantastic considering who she's been up against. I think even just making things difficult. Difficult for the striker, making sure they're not just going to have a free run in behind the defence. Still see she's quite young in her awareness, and she'll only get better at that with age and match minutes.
So Spain just seconds away from securing the opening win in the Cup of Nations. For Hardis on debut, looking forward, and Cato. Navarro just floats out wide. Teresa, one final goal, maybe on the offing if Spain are good enough. Bounces up for Navarro, the cross cut out by Swaby. And now Trudy Carter. Didn't get to see a whole lot of her today. And Spain begin the Cup of Nations with a win. 7 matches unbeaten they are now since that Euros quarter-final defeat to England. And a win over the US in that, a draw with Sweden. And now, after that 3-0 win today over Jamaica, it's 4 matches in a row with a win. So this side is building nicely for the FIFA Women's World Cup, despite being without 15 players, currently sitting out in protest against that man, the coach, not that man, Lorne Donaldson. He has taken over this Jamaican side. He will have a little bit of work to do ahead of that match with Czechia on Sunday. Full time on the Central Coast. Spain 3, Jamaica 0. And let's have a look back at the best moments from this opening match of the Cup of Nations, Sarah Walsh. And it was Maite Uroth that got the scoring started after this stunning volley from Thornotha.
Yeah, it was a stunning volley, as you mentioned, and the follow-up here is key. They were hungry at the start, really no flat feet. Orotho, I thought, was fantastic in the first half. And again, they just allowed too much space in behind. Williams, I thought, was good for her debut, but it's a stunning finish there from the striker. But again, the beautiful display here from Parajuelo. The finish from Fiamma was just something to awe at. It was fantastic. But there's plenty improvements to be had for Spain. I think there's plenty of things they won't be happy about. They need to be a bit more clinical.
So there it is, the first match of the 2023 Cup of Nations ticked off. Spain with a 3-0 win over Jamaica. Do not forget that the second match tonight, Australia, the Matildas, take on Czechia. That is live right here on Paramount Plus and 10 bowled from 6:30. Thank you, Sarah Walsh, for your company. And thank you for your company on Paramount Plus. Enjoy the football a little bit later on tonight. In 20 minutes, it's the Matildas and Czechia as they get their campaign underway in the Cup of Nations.